What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with Dark Outpost, and we have some news today from the world of DC, specifically about the Flash movie that has long been in a hiatus, that was announced in like 2016 or 2017, and isn't going to be out until around 2022, it looks like. There's been a lot of holdup in production, but we're finally getting some new-ish news about it that's kind of old news. You guys know how I feel about Zack Snyder's DCEU, and how they've been really kind of trying to figure out where to go with it from here, now that they have a new Batman cast, now that they're making movies more on an individual basis. Well, it looks like this new Flash movie could be a way to explain some of that, or maybe it might just muddy things up even further. Time will tell. But here's the news. Sounds like the Flash movie will be a Flashpoint adaptation again. And that's what it was originally intended to be, until it got changed several times. For a movie centered on the fastest man alive, it's ironic how long it's taken for The Flash to actually get off the ground. Well, Barry Allen is always late, so. Nevertheless, Warner Brothers is still moving ahead with spotlighting Ezra Miller's Barry Allen in his own movie, with its Andy Muschietti now directing and Birds of Prey's Christina Hodson writing the script. Now listen, Birds of Prey, it looks like it's going to be a train wreck of a movie, just being honest. I love DC. I want it to be really good. It looks like it's going to be awful. Time will tell, I guess. We'll see. I don't think I'm the target audience, but we'll see what happens with it. So what can we expect from their version of The Flash? Apparently an adaptation of the 2011 story Flashpoint, which had previously been in the cards under different creative leadership. Andy Muschietti recently said, "The movie will be a different version of Flashpoint than you're expecting." Yay, I can't wait for them to subvert my expectations. The filmmaker dropped this information while speaking with That Hashtag Show after moderating a panel for Kristen Stewart-led film Underworld. Andy Muschietti also mentioned he'll begin working on Flash this year, which makes sense. The movie's currently scheduled to come out in summer of 2020. Now, there have been a couple hints over the past couple weeks that a Flashpoint movie could be in the works. And I didn't talk about it because there really wasn't enough to make a whole video about. But Jeffrey Dean Morgan, if you don't remember, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who did play the comedian in Zack Snyder's Watchmen, was also Thomas Wayne in Batman vs. Superman. He was Thomas Wayne in the flashback where Bruce saw his parents getting killed. Now, ever since that happened, people have been like, wow, Jeffrey Dean Morgan would make a great Thomas Wayne in the Flashpoint universe. And on New Year's, I think, New Year's Eve, he put this out. Gus found the comedian mask. Still fits like a glove and looks extra with my badass bifocals. Here's to a masked comeback in 2020. So that got a lot of people speculating maybe he'll be in a superhero movie that starts filming soon. Made people talk about Flashpoint. And then a couple weeks ago, Joe Manganiello, who was famously Deathstroke for like half a second in Justice League and was intended to have a much bigger part as Deathstroke in Zack Snyder's movies, he was hanging out with Jason Momoa at a Slayer concert. Backstage at Slayer with Jason and Ian. Hashtag Flashpoint, and then hashtag a bunch of different like Slayer and metal-related hashtags. Flashpoint didn't seem to make sense, so people started talking about it. Why is he there? Why did he hashtag that Flashpoint? Could that mean something? Well, it looks like that may have meant something. So can we expect either of those characters? We will see. Now, if you're not familiar with the Flashpoint story, I think that this, we'll actually get into it here. So I'll let this article do it, and if it needs any more summary, I'll give it. For those unfamiliar with Flashpoint, it was a crossover event that saw the main DC universe timeline be drastically altered. The core story followed Barry Allen awakening in this changed reality without his super speed and being the only one aware of how things used to be. The events of Flashpoint led into the New 52 relaunch, which reset most of the DC continuity. So very familiar if you weren't reading DC back then, but if you've read it more recently. Very, very similar to the whole Rebirth event that kind of led to Rebirth starting. Same kind of way. Flashpoint has previously... God, stupid ad. Flashpoint has previously been adapted into an animated movie, which is excellent. At least I really like it. 2013's Justice League, The Flashpoint Paradox. Just like so much of DC's animated stuff is just on point. And elements of it were incorporated into Season 3 of the Flash TV series, which was awful. They did it in like one episode. They did Flashpoint in like one episode where like nothing happened. It was terrible. One of the worst One of the worst, most disappointing things I've ever seen. I was a fan of Flash first 2 seasons. That third season opener was god-awful. Then in 2017, it was announced the Flash movie, which had already been in development for several years, would be a Flashpoint adaptation. So again, this is years ago this happened. However, by spring of 2018, a few months after game night duo John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein signed on to direct the Scarlet Speedster solo feature, it was no longer called Flashpoint. Following their departure, no more mention of Flashpoint, indicating the Flash would embark down a different narrative path. Now, Ezra Miller, I really like almost all of Zack Snyder's castings, except Ezra Miller. I did not like him as Barry Allen at all. Kind of despised it, kind of despised how he was in Justice League. Now, would that have been different with Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League than Joss Whedon's? Maybe, I don't know. I can't wait to see the Snyder cut when it is eventually released to figure that out. # release the Snyder cut. But I just didn't like him. I'm not looking forward to seeing more of him. And he's been in schedule limbo for a very long time. That's why this has been like this. But it looks like it's finally getting on path. Now it sounds like the Flashpoint train is rolling again under Muschietti and Christina Hodson's guidance. Though if you're expecting a relatively faithful adaptation of the story, think again. We'll have to wait and see what Muschietti means by different, although I imagine at the very least time travel will still be involved, given not just its importance to the Flashpoint, but how it's frequently used in Flash mythology. When we last saw Ezra Miller, he'd just gotten a job at Central City Police and was more confident in his role as a superhero. By the time Flash comes out, it'll have been about 4.5 years since Justice League's release, so it's unclear how much time will have passed for Barry. I'll also be curious to see if Flash's version of Flashpoint, assuming time travel does factor in, will be used to explain why the DC Extended Universe isn't as interconnected as it once was. Will be very interesting, but it seems, with Warner Brothers now taking a more standalone and filmmaker-centric approach, the Flashpoint adaptation could explain the changes in this fictional reality. So, they didn't really explain what Flashpoint was too much, but I really enjoyed the Flashpoint story. And I think a lot of people did. They may not have liked the New 52 and what came of it, but the story itself was really intriguing. Barry decides to go back in time and try to save his family. It's all a ploy by Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne, to get him to do that and to change the timeline. He does change the timeline, and everything just changes a little bit. So instead of Bruce Wayne, or instead of Thomas and Martha Wayne getting shot, in the street in Gotham, it's their son Bruce. And so Thomas Wayne is destroyed by what has happened to his son, and he becomes the Batman. But it's not it's the criminal Batman, a murderous, a dude who doesn't care about anything, just wants to hunt down all criminals and kill them. And then his wife becomes the Joker. And Superman, instead of landing in Kansas, everything's just thrown a little bit off. So his spaceship lands in the middle of, I think, Metropolis. And he never sees the light of day. He gets taken down, where he can't reach the sun. And they're doing experiments on him and stuff. So many things are a little bit different. So I think that Flashpoint is a really cool concept. And so things are different in that universe, and Barry has to fix them with the help of Thomas Wayne, the Batman in that universe. He needs to fix them so he can go back to his reality. And, once that happens, things are a little bit different after that. But it's very interesting. Is this something that I'm looking forward to? No, I don't think that Warner Brothers knows what it's doing. I think they ran into some success with Wonder Woman and Aquaman, and obviously the Joker was completely unexpected. I think WB was completely hands-off. They're shocked at what happened with Joker. Now they're going to try to recreate that. I don't know if they're going to be able to. Wonder Woman 84, I'm not going to talk about leaks for that movie right now, but with the story and the plot, I don't like what I've heard from the leaks. I'll have to see it on screen, see if any of it's true, and maybe it's just because I've read it. I don't like what I'm hearing from Wonder Woman 84. Birds of Prey seems like trash. They've soft rebooted Suicide Squad, which looks like it could be good. Black Adam, I'm really excited for Black Adam. But to me, Warner Brothers does still not have a handle on the DCEU, and this Flashpoint movie news just furthers that, to be honest. We'll see how it all shakes out. I love DC, and I want it to be good so freaking badly. So I'll be rooting for it, definitely. But I gotta give my real take on what's going on. But what do you guys think? The fact that it's a Flashpoint movie again with Ezra Miller, is that something that intrigues you? Would you like to see further explanation as to maybe why things have happened in the DC universe? You know, they gotta have a way to explain that Ben Affleck's no longer Batman, that it's Robert Pattinson now. Is that how this movie, are they gonna use this movie to take that opportunity? Who knows? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.